You wanna talk plants? My name is Ioana. Ioana is the Romanian equivalent of Joanna, Ioana, Joan, Joanne, Johanna, and I'm Romanian. And Ioana sounds like Ioana. You wanna talk plants?
Last winter, I was looking through Baker's Creek catalog. I was looking for Chinese broccoli, a special favorite treat when enjoying dim sum. This is when I discovered another plant for greens, Chijimisai. Just in case spinach, lettuce, kale, bok choy, or Chinese broccoli were not amazing enough, there is a new plant for greens, at least new for me, Chijimisai. Reading from Baker's Creek catalog about Chijimisai. Stunning new superfood, contains 4 times as much vitamin A as carrots, a great source of minerals and proteins, a cross between 2 delicious and hardy greens, tatsoi and kamatsuna. The lightly savoyed leaves of Chijimisai have a velvety texture and lightly umami flavor. This new heirloom Asian green is both heat and cold tolerant, making it suitable to grow year-round in most growing zones. Quick and easy to grow green, phenomenally tasty and more versatile than other greens. Equally delicious in stir fries, soups, lasagna, as it is in salads or on pizzas. Sure to beat the next culinary craze. No patch of greens should be without Chijimisai. End quote. Scientific name Brassica rapa, family Brassicaceae, also known as cruciferae, meaning carrying a cross, referring to their 4 green sepals alternating with their 4 petals. Brassica rapa is the scientific name for many plants, from the field mustard, the wild plant that gave rise to a multitude of vegetables we enjoy. Turnip, Napa cabbage, which is not from Napa Valley, California, but actually from Beijing, Chinese area. Bok choy, also known as pak choy, depending on which side of the Atlantic you are. Rapini, also known as broccoli rab. All of those are plant varieties that are members of the Brassica rapa species. Brassica rapa species even include some of the mustard seed oil producers, vegetable oils such as rapeseed oil and canola oil. Members of the Brassica genus are notorious for their natural propensity for intra and interspecific hybridization, and new crop types evolved through spontaneous gene mutations and hybridizations. Of course, there are great farmers along the way that selected these new variations of Brassica. Chijimisai, it's a cross between tatsoi and komatsuna, both varieties of the Brassica rapa. Tatsoi, also called tatchoi, is closely related to bok choy. Bok choy was initially labeled Brassica chinensis by none other than Linnaeus himself. The Carolus Linnaeus himself. Carolus Linnaeus invented binomial nomenclature. Before Linnaeus's binomial nomenclature magic wand, plant names were often a description, sometimes a whole paragraph. And Brassica rapa was Brassica radice caulescente orbiculari de Prefa carofa. Tatsoi, one of the 2 parents of Chijimisai, tatsoi meaning drooping vegetable, it's also known as mustard spinach. So it's not spinach, but it is a mustard, member of the cruciferae or mustard plant family. This is an easy way to produce a new common name for a plant. You use a species that you already know, in this case spinach, and you add an adjective to it to differentiate it from this plant that we already know. My joke about this type of common names is that when you have to add an adjective to it before or after, depending what language you're using, then you're not talking about the same plant species. In better words, a great example would be sweet potato, it's not potato. The second parent of Chijimisai is komatsuna, also known as Japanese mustard spinach. Two adjectives. Komatsuna means greens of Komatsu, referring to the village of Komatsugawa in Tokyo. Several hundred years ago, sometime in 1719, the 8th shogun was served this local leafy vegetable. He was so impressed by this vegetable that he called it Komatsu, referring to the nearby river, which gave the name of the village as well. Chijimi apparently in Japanese translates to shrivel, referring to their wrinkled leaves. And sai in Japanese means leafy greens. So chimijisai, it's wrinkled leafy greens. I hope by now you're salivating, wondering how to enjoy any of these members of the Brassica rapa species, including chimijisai. Being Asian greens, you cannot go wrong with a stir fry, or simply steamed, parboiled, or sauteed, to which you could add some soy sauce, an acid, maybe rice vinegar, and chili sauce. Thank you, naive urban gardener. I enjoyed your favorite way to cook Asian greens chimijisai harvest YouTube video. If you have not discovered Greek Horta yet, I believe you'd be delighted to discover Greek Horta. Any leafy vegetables, steamed or boiled, drained, seasoned with salt and pepper, and for the Greek part, lightly drizzled with olive oil and freshly squeezed lemon juice. I happen to find them delicious straight in the garden, together with other greens, lettuce, spinach, kale, garlic chives, or anything else that you might have in your own garden. If you can wait, it's also delicious as part of any green salad, including other members of the brassicas and more. Why should you consider growing and eating any of these grain leafy vegetables, including chimijisai? As I could not find any nutritional recommendations for chimijisai per se, I am using instead what WebMD has to say about mustard greens. They have more vitamin A than spinach, more vitamin C than oranges, and they contain a wide range of powerful phytonutrients and antioxidants. Antioxidants protect cells from oxidative damage caused by free radicals. Free radicals accumulate in our bodies with age, from the environment, or due to lifestyle choices. Over time, this cell damage can be linked to arthritis, autoimmune disorders, heart problems, cognitive decline. Antioxidants can also enhance immune defense system, and it might reduce many chronic diseases. Like other cruciferous vegetables, members of the cruciferous plant family, also known as Brassicaceae and mustard family, chimijisai and mustard greens contain glycosinolates. Glycosinolates are plant chemicals that give the plant a bitter flavor. Plants have adapted to be less palatable to herbivores, and cruciferous vegetables have adapted to produce high amounts of glycosinolates in their cells. Glycosinolates might prevent tumor formation and cancer, and in general, eating more greens could lower the risk of chronic disease. Cautions. Mustard greens are generally safe to eat, but they are high in vitamin K, which makes them problematic for people that are already on blood thinner medications. Mustard greens are also high in oxalates, which may trigger side effects for people that have a high risk of oxalate-type kidney stones. If you have any concerns about these potential problems, adding more mustard greens, including chimijisai, to your life can cause